Oh, I've been putting this project off for so long. Too long. Too long. Hey, it's me! So today, as you can tell from the title, I'm making a porky roach spreader. Quick disclaimer, this is not a tutorial, this is a vlog, but I am showing you what I'm doing. So if you do follow this video as a tutorial, I suggest watching all the way through before completing any steps or buying anything. There are also other videos here on YouTube that I can link for you. Well, I know there's one for sure. I don't know if there's any other ones, but if I do find them, they'll be linked. I did do a video on my channel where I showed you how I made a porky roach. I will link it up here. And yeah, if you want to go check out that video, it was almost a year ago that I completed that porky roach, and this spreader would have been done by now if there were any powwows that we needed to go to. Just saying. Rona. So yeah, almost a year later, here we are. So there are several different things that you can use for a roach spreader. You can use German silver, which is kind of pricey, but you know, if you want that look, there's that option. You can also use carved bone. In my case, what I'm using is some leather. Here I have some strap leather from a shop called Wandering Bull. You don't have to get leather from them. You can get, you know, leather from wherever you get your leather, but I have here just a thick strap of, I believe it's cow. In addition, you don't have to get this much either. I have this much because I plan on making a belt out of this strap as well, but I think you only need like a foot of it. I also have here some leather string. Again, this is from the Wandering Bull. If you have leather, you can cut string for yourself as well. The only reason I bought leather string is because I don't have white leather and I wanted white leather. I also suggest getting enough for 2 ties on the head, so you should have one on the top of the head with enough left over to actually tie it, you know. And then you'll also have one kind of like around the crown, a little below the crown of the head, to tie that one on as well. Okay. Some people also like to, instead of tying the back one up here where the front one is also tied, they might kind of take the back one, loop it around the front one, and then bring it back and tie it back here. That's, you know, I'm just trying to let you know right now that you gotta make sure you get enough. So yeah, there's that. I forgot to mention here that another option besides leather is cotton shoelaces. So if you don't want to use leather, you can opt for that, but I do suggest whatever you choose, it be a natural material and not materials such as nylon, which are commonly found in shoelaces, and that's because nylon is a slippery plastic material that can cause the knot to unravel and your roach to fall off your head. And then any other things that I use will all be in the description. Every tutorial / craft working vlog that I do, I always list what I use in the description. I just want to throw it out there that this is my first time making a porky roach. In addition, I am not adding any, I don't know what to call them. They have words and I know what they're called, but it's not coming to me right now. The things to put your spinners in, okay? The roach that I'm making today, I'm not adding any cylinders for the spinners, for any feather spinners to go into. This is just because my son is very young and he doesn't have any feathers, but I have left a space open on the spreader in case I want to add cylinders to it later. I do know there's a couple ways that you can do that. You can use the leather that you're making the spreader itself out of. You can take some more of that leather and form a cylinder out of there. And some other people, when I was looking online to find people's, you know, like tricks and trades of what they do, some people talked about how they would use spools that your thread is on, like empty spools, take the top and the bottom off and then you have a cylinder, or those cylinders that hold camera film. Don't really know who all has those laying around anymore, but there's that. And then if you buy a spreader, like a German silver spreader, those obviously already come with the cylinders or spinners attached to them. And this is for a child, so you want to be mindful of how long you're going to be making your spreader. You might want to make it longer for an adult or longer for any kind of aesthetic reasons that you're going for. So I do want to point out that this is for a child, so I will be making it a little shorter than you might if you are making it for an adult or yourself as an adult. So yeah. All right, so as you can see, this is the part at which the spreader is going to rest. Again, like I mentioned before, there's different shapes that you can choose for a spreader. I'm going to choose one that is round and then comes down to, I think right about here is fine. Because this is for a child, for one. You might want to make it a little longer if it's for an adult. In addition, when you make a spreader, you don't really want to make it wider than this per se. You want to make it just about as wide as this base here, because the spreader isn't really meant to make the hairs fan out more. It's just meant to keep them from folding in like this and to help them spread out evenly. So what I'm gonna do is I don't know how wide this base is, so I'm going to measure it real quickly. And this base is 3 inches and what is that? 1/8? All right, 3 inches and 1/8. That's wonderful. Very specific. Okay, and then I'm gonna measure down here. Again, that's about 1 inch and 1/8. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace on some paper. I'm just going to trace around the outside of the roach, and then once I trace that, then I will get more precise with the ruler. Voiceover. So because tracing leads to you drawing a line that's slightly wider than the product, I'm measuring the 3 inches and 1/8 of an inch and the 1 inch and the 1/8 of an inch and drawing a new outline that reflects the measurement. Next, I'm measuring a length of 8 inches. Make it longer if you're an adult. Cut out your pattern piece and place it on your roach so you can determine if it fits properly. Mine needs just a few adjustments, so I'm marking down where the adjustments are needed. I traced a new pattern piece with the adjustments, and then I changed the end of the pattern piece from a rounded edge to kind of a banner edge. And then double, triple, quadruple check whatever you gotta do to make sure that the pattern piece fits right, and this one fits right. That's good. So now I'm taking my leather strap. The shiny piece is going to be the outside and the suede is going to be the bottom side. So I'm going to trace on the suede because if any marks are left behind, they won't be visible. After tracing. Now, if you have a pattern piece that has a particular left or right side, make sure that you're facing the front of the pattern piece in the same direction that you're facing the front of your leather. This ensures that your shape is cut out with the proper side of your leather showing. I decided to try out several different cutting methods because I wasn't sure which one was the best. First I tried the rolly and then I tried the razor, but I ended up just settling on some good old shears. The edges are a little rough, but that doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, use a light sandpaper. And now I'm trying it on the roach again, seeing how well it spreads out the hairs, and it's looking pretty good. And now it's time to mark where the holes go in order to tie the roach onto your head, but don't cut them out yet. One way you can do this is mark a sizable hole in the middle of your spreader and then braid your hair to the top of your head. Take a stick, stick it into the hole, into your braid, and back out the hole again, and the stick will hold the spreader onto your hair. Or you can mark a smaller hole, take a stick, take your leather or shoelace tie, wrap it around the stick, and put it in the hole. The ties that go through the hole then tie onto your chin. What I'm going to do today is mark 2 holes and stick each end of the tie through each hole, and then the ties will tie under the chin. So I marked these 2 holes about 1 inch apart, and then I also put some holes towards the bottom, but keep in mind I did change the direction of these holes from horizontal to vertical. Now I'm drawing a design, and I'm glad that I drew it first before cutting out the holes so that I could move the holes if needed. My son is Ajijak Dodem, he is Crane Clan, so I'm drawing him a nice little crane. Again, notice how the holes towards the bottom change from horizontal to vertical. I thought about drawing a design on the top, but I decided to leave it blank just in case I want to add any feather spinners in the future. Now there are so many ways to add designs to your spreader, but here I'm choosing leather burning, and I'm going to burn the design into the leather. And before I do that, I'm practicing on some scrap leather. Practicing how to handle the burner as well as seeing how it interacts with the leather I'm using. When I tell you, that was so fun. Now that the design is all done, the next step is to create the holes. I tried to use my drill, but to be perfectly honest, the battery was dying, and I didn't feel like charging it, so I dug out my good old handy leather hole puncher. There were a few people actually who really disliked that I used the hole puncher on my leather belt tutorial, which is the same type of strap leather that I'm using here, but it worked for me, so do whatever works for you. I did try to use a leather awl, but I just wasn't having luck with it. I never really have luck with those things. And you know, this channel is not a professional channel. This channel is for Native people that want to make their own items, and I'm here for them. I'm here for y'all, okay? Now technically the spreader is all finished, but I'm going to show you how to put it on. So find the hole in the middle of the roach base, and then you're going to stick both ends of the string through that hole. For the other ties, there's no obvious hole to stick these through, so you have to find a space that's in between 2 stitches, like so, and you're going to stick both ends of the tie through that stitch. And now the spreader is attached to the Roach and it's time to try it on. Looks great. Put. I think harder than that. Alright, so I hope you like this video. Store your spreader and your Roach separately. All links of other videos and materials used will be in the description below. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope it was helpful or entertaining or whatever you want it to be. Bama P. Guadman.